How do we compute derivatives of inverse trigonometric functions? So for example, let's start with the arc sine of x. How? That's the question, how? So first thing I will write that this is the sine of y equals x. And then remember that if all we want to do is find the dy dx, we can do this by using implicit differentiation. Okay, remember the sine of y would give the cosine of y times dy dx, and then the right hand side would give 1. And from here we get the formula dy dx equals 1 divided by cosine of y. But the cosine of y is not very, we want something in terms of x. So what we can do to make the y disappear is just replace the original formula, y equals arc sine of x. So we have the cosine over the arc sine of x. But this is still not very, it's not complete, right? Because we would like to simplify this. So how do we simplify the cosine of the arc sine of x? We saw this in a previous video. What is the idea? We need the trigonometric circle. Okay, remember always, this circle always has radius 1. There you go, radius 1. And then we have this arc sine of x is an angle, we call it theta. Okay, and this is the angle whose sine, let's use a color here, whose sine of theta is x. So what is the cosine of theta? Here we can apply the Pythagorean theorem. 1 equals the sine squared plus the cosine squared, right? And the sine is x, so x squared plus the cosine I want to find, so I keep it cosine squared. So then the cosine of theta is going to be the square root of 1 minus x squared. Okay, but now remembering that theta is the arc sine, we can finish our formula and say, okay, dy dx is 1 over the cosine of theta, which is the square root of 1 minus x squared. So here we have a few formulas that we need to memorize. It's better if we know how to find them because otherwise we may forget. But the second best thing is if we remember that the derivative of the arc sine of x is 1 over square root of 1 minus x squared, ddx arc cosine of x, I forgot the c here, there we go, arc cosine of x equals negative 1 divided by the square root of 1 minus x squared, and then ddx of the arc tangent of x, that's going to be 1 divided by 1 plus x squared. Very important to remember these things because they do come out once in a while. So I leave for you to do as exercise. You show these formulas, star and double star. You do these ones using implicit differentiation. Using implicit differentiation.